haters been calling, my enemies stalling, my people been balling, my team we been wildin'. Can't 100, we use basic tools. Strategies moving where we gotta move. There wasn't no option, no time on the clock, and no setting it back, and we gotta get profit. I'm standing on top of the glory, the road. We was just rebels and do what was told. When they asked me how we leveled up without us getting stuck, we just muscled up. This game spin, no one gotta tighten up, gotta muscle up, or you will get stuck in this game. I'm ballin' on top of that mountain, I'm on and I'm calling my mom and tell her I'm good. I'm surrounded by family like back in the hood. I was falling from grace, I was misunderstood. Hey, the pressure will sit you right down, but I stood up. I mean what I say and I say what I mean. On the balcony screaming, they just let me be. We had to slow it down. What goes around comes around. Oh, the frequency different now. I was going through different rounds. Hey, it's crazy.
YouTube family, what's good with you? It's your boy 2A in LA, and as always, fam, anything I say in this episode, prior episodes, and future episodes is just my personal opinion. Don't take it as fact. Don't take it as law. Always do your own homework and come up with your own conclusions. Right about now, fam, I should go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Come on in. You can join the congregation by smashing that subscribe button and requesting all post notifications. And if you are an existing supporter of this channel, I appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. You are the reason this channel is anything. All right, fam, let's get into this episode. So we are talking about the Phoeniz Trinity Honcho V2, the collaboration with Phoeniz Trinity and Covert Projects. Now look, fam, I've done an initial impressions video on this gun. I have done a full review on the gun. And most recently, I ran this gun head to head with one of the favorite guns and one of the best shooting guns in my collection, the Atlas Gun Works Erebus. Now, if you guys follow the channel, fam, you know when it comes to the Erebus, I don't play. That was for a long, long time the best shooting gun I have ever shot until I ran across the likes of Venom and Rafferty. But I said when I looked at those two guns together, when I compared the Atlas Erebus and the Honcho, I told you at that time that I felt like Atlas's fit, finish, their manufacturing is just a step above. It's just a step above. Also, the consistency in their manufacturing, the reputation for their customer service just puts the Erebus in a different ballpark as far as that goes. That's why the Erebus scored in the 90s while the Honcho scored, I believe, in 87. I'll put the two scores up there so you can take a look. But I also told you at that time that, look, the Honcho, from a shooting experience perspective, from a shootability perspective, was probably better than the Erebus. Softer shooting. This could be the softest shooting gun that I ever shot. And I felt like for a non-all-steel gun, steel frame, but for an aluminum gripped gun to be relatively lightweight and that flat shooting, primarily because of these two huge comps on the front, I felt like it made the gun such a pleasure to shoot. Like if I were just going out to the range and I wanted to blow a couple of thousand rounds through a gun and leave and still have plenty of energy for whatever I'm doing the rest of the day, just a great day at the range, or I'm shooting in a match and I just want to go out and run and gun and have a good time, I feel like the Honcho would be the gun I would grab. And before, it would have probably been the Erebus. So look, I was so impressed by the way the shootability of the Honcho, I had to take it out again, and this time pair it against the gun that I feel is the best shooting gun in my collection, and that is the Rafferty Lucky Devil. Bam! Stop playing with your boy. This gun is unbelievable. Tied for the highest scoring gun in the history of the channel with a whopping 96. I told you guys, this gun is aptly nicknamed the cheat code because I have never shot a gun that was so fast, so accurate. The gun just doesn't move. There's zero rise. All steel gun, ported and compensated. So takes it to another level. And Rafferty makes some of the best firearms, some of the best 2011s in the industry. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. When you talk about the best of the best of the best, Rafferty is right there with Venom, right there with Hayes. You know, I think all three of those are right there with Infinity, if not better. All of those guns are probably maybe a step above Atlas, but I got to give Atlas a lot of kudos because Atlas Guns makes phenomenal guns, and the Erebus and the Chaos, for instance, are some of the best shooting guns I've ever shot. And they're supplying parts to a lot of these other high-end dealers. So I always include Atlas in there, but yeah, Rafferty is something special. All right, fam. So I did it. I took these two bad boys out to the range. Look, fam, I told you guys, it's one thing when you're trying to kind of go off memory recall, when you're shooting a Honcho and you're thinking, is this softer than the Rafferty, what I remember the Rafferty felt like? Sometimes your mind can play tricks on you, right? But when you've got them both out there and you're shooting back to back, yeah. One mag in this one mag in this one, a half a mag in this one, a half a mag in this one, few shots to this one, a few shots to this one. Then all things become clear, right? So what I was trying to see is that huge, big, hawking single comp and the ports going to outshine the dual kind of comp system that the Honcho has. Also, does the fact that this have two comps make it softer, but the fact that this is an all steel gun, how does that come into play when you're shooting them? So I started off with the Honcho, fam. I was like, it had been probably a week or so since I shot the Honcho last, and I was like, let me see if this is what I remember. And it was, fam. It was everything I remember. The gun felt great in the hands. It was so soft shooting. And like I said, the construction is really well done on this gun. Like I said, it was a pleasure to shoot. So soft, so flat. I was just like, yeah, it's what I remember. It's what I remember. The Lucky Devil could be in for some problems. The Lucky Devil could be in for some problems. Now keep in mind, this gun is MSRP for about $6,500. This one for 10 grand and up. Right? So there's a significant dollar gap between the two. But I said, okay, the Honcho is just what I thought it would be. Let's check out the Lucky Devil. So let me give you the play-by-play, fam. So I take out the Lucky Devil, pop in the mag, and the first thing I do, fam, is I rack the slide. And when I did that, fam, I was like, oh. I was like, oh, okay. The Honcho, maybe I spoke too soon, fam. It's not just the spring. It's the way the gun is machined. This gun is buttery smooth. I mean, it is just so well manufactured. It stood out. It stood out. I was talking to my man RGG on one of his lives, and he had kind of made the comment that, once you start paying $4,000 or $5,000 for a gun, to him, they all are alike. And I'm like, no, there's a difference. There's a difference. And so when I took this $6,500 gun out and I racked it, and like I said, it's smooth. There's no glitch. No, Phoeniz Trinity does a good job. Phoeniz Trinity does a good job relative to that. It's very smooth. It's very smooth. No, what? Nothing, right? Fam, when I tell you there is a difference, there's a difference, fam. It's this thing, like we say it's on rails, and it is. Most guns are, right? But it just feels like it's on rollers. That's like probably the more accurate way to say it. This gun feels like it's on rollers. The manufacturing, the quality of this gun is a different level. I told you guys that the Erebus was on a different level than the Honcho. So if the Erebus is on a different level than the Honcho, this is a few different levels up. This is a few different levels up. So I said, but okay. I said the same thing about the Erebus, right? Erebus, far superior fit and finish. And I felt like the Erebus had a better trigger, more reliable, all that. Again, there's a reason why the Erebus scored in the 90s and the Honcho scored in the 87. But I said from a shootability perspective, like how fun it is to shoot. I still think the Honcho is crazy fun to shoot, don't get me wrong. But from a shootability perspective, how does Lucky Devil compare? And fam, I gotta say, my bad. I gotta apologize to Pat right now, Pat Rafferty right now. My bad, Pat. My bad. This is different, fam. This gun is so accurate and so fast, and it's crazy flat. It's crazy smooth. It's a different animal altogether. I don't look. Love the Honcho. Love it. I can't wait to get my custom 1-of-1 Honcho in. I'll be definitely doing a video on it when it comes, but it is not this, fam. It is not this. This bad boy, yeah. Really good, best. Really good, best. Yeah, fam. It's like, fam, I did a video on the Fowler Vanta 9, which I got. And I told you, I love my Fowler. It's an awesome gun. And I ran the Fowler up against a lot of my really good mid-tier guns, like the Chirac and the Staccato, my upgraded Staccato FC and the Ray City 9. And I felt like the Fowler kind of outdistanced those a little bit. And so I said, hey, let's take the Fowler and let's put it up against like the heavyweights. Let's put it up against Atlas. Let's put it up against Hayes. Let's put it up against Venom. Let's put it up against Rafferty, right? Let's see how it holds up to that level of scrutiny, right? And while I thought the Fowler was an excellent gun, and I thought relative to the Atlas Apollo, I thought it was right there kind of with the Apollo. Not on the same level as an Erebus, but right there with the Apollo, right? And then I took it up and I looked at it against the Hayes, and I looked at it against the Venom, and it's not that. It's not that. It's great, but it's not that. And that's kind of how I feel about the Honcho. Great gun. Really great gun. It is not the Lucky Devil, fam. It is not. But sometimes you have to shoot them to know it, right? And sometimes the underdog will surprise you, and sometimes the overwhelming favorite will do exactly what you thought it was going to do, which is knock the underdog the hell out. And that's what the Rafferty Lucky Devil did. Look, my bad. Like I said, my bad, Pat. My bad to Rafferty. These two guns are not in the same ballpark. So if you haven't seen the review on the Rafferty Lucky Devil, make sure you go back and check that out. But look, fam, again, 6,500 versus 10K plus, 30 to just call it 90-day wait time maybe, as compared to, maybe never or a couple of years. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's all right? So look, man, I'm still loving the Honcho. Like I said, I'm waiting to get my custom Honcho in. Looking forward to it. But yeah, fam, Phoeniz Trinity Honcho is an awesome gun, but the Lucky Devil remains the king of the hill in my collection. All right, fam, that's it for this episode. Until next time, as always, take care of one another and peace.